Unlock your true potential with the Leadership Community, where we empower men to embrace self-awareness and authenticity. Introducing the Leadership Community, where we believe in helping men become the best version of themselves. It all starts with self-awareness, and we encourage men to take a step back, pause, and reflect on their thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Embrace their authenticity and break free from societal expectations. Here are just a few testimonies from individuals. Leadership helped me develop self-awareness and embrace my authentic self. And now I feel more confident and fulfilled. Question: are you ready to unlock your potential? If so, join the Leadership Community today. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome on in to another episode of the Men of Vision Podcast. I'm your boy, Dwayne Roberts. The Men of Vision Podcast, our aim is to support Christian men to help them navigate life challenges by gaining clarity and direction so they can experience a happier, healthier, and more purposeful lifestyle. I want to say thank you for taking a vital step towards becoming the best version of you. On today's Men of Vision Podcast, man, we're talking with Yoel Ben Yisrael. I hope I got it. Yoel recently made his authorial debut with the book entitled Thoughts of a Kingdom Citizen. He says, Earth needs heaven. Help me give a warm virtual welcome to my man, Yoel Ben Yisrael. Yoel, what's happening, baby?
What's going on, man? Thank you, man. That's a powerful introduction, man. I love it. I love it.
You
I love
it,
man.
Did
yes,
I jack your name up, did I, bro?
No, you did. You got it. You got it. you got it right. You got it right.
Good stuff, man. I'm so glad you're here to rock with us on the Men of Vision Podcast, man. Listen, take a few minutes, introduce yourself to the fellas. Let them know how you desire to serve.
Absolutely. So, my name is Yoel Ben Yisrael, and man, how I desire to serve is I desire to serve people the good news. And I believe that the good news it's very practical. It's very pragmatic, and that good news is that we all have an opportunity to change our mindset because in order for us to live to really, I guess, live life to the fullest or to live a blessed life, it starts within the mind first, and then the body and the lifestyle will follow. And so the good news is we have a chance to change our mind because the kingdom of heaven has arrived, and this government that God has and that God rules over, it is the everything government. Is the perfect government that benefits especially us men and it teaches us how to live lives that really will bring us true happiness and true fulfillment and true wholeness, man. And so that's what I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve up some good news to the people. So all I got for you guys is some good news to help you out when it comes to living.
Come on. He said, all I got is for you is some good news. But you're right, man. It's about having that change mindset. I love what you said. Yes. When you change your mindset, the body and everything else will follow. It reminds me of this time, man. I probably was about, I was probably a young teen. Man, I was probably young teen, about 15, 16 years old. And I never forget walking into this department store, and right in front of the department store was this shirt hanging up, bright yellow. It caught my eye, and it had a little funny cartoon character on it. And the picture of the cartoon character had a hole in the center of his head, and it read, and I always try to keep an open mind. Now, at the time, I thought it was funny, but as I navigated life and I started going to school, I started realizing what it really meant to have an open mindset. My friend, let's talk to me about having a changed mindset and the power of the body following.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Mr. Dwayne. So the power of having a changed mindset and the body being able to follow that. When I think about how we all live and how we all function, so everything starts with an idea. So right now, this podcast, this beautiful podcast that we're on, Men of Vision podcast, I would conjecture, my educated guess would be that for you, Dwayne, it started with an idea within your mind, within your head. You were like, maybe I should have a podcast, and then you got got the premise of it, you got the idea of it, you got the crux of it, you got the mission statement for it. And so it all started as this idea that was within your mind. And then your body began to follow. You begin to say, oh, well, I need some headphones. I need a microphone. I need to get Riverside. I need to get a real cool hat to put on to promote the Men of Vision. And so all these things combine together from this one idea. And so what I'm proposing to your audience and to us men, to the brothers listening, is that in order for us to live a better life, we need better ideas. Ooh. And those ideas are not going to come from us. They're going to have to come from a heavenly source. And so that's what I'm proposing is, in order for us to to have a changed mind, we have to be teachable. We have to be coachable. We have to be corrigable. We have to be able to be corrected. And we also have to almost we've got to be humble as well too. And so in order for us to have that changed mind, we gotta have that open mind, like how you said, like how you saw that cartoon character have that open mind. But in order for us we have to be careful as to what ideas we let into our open mind as well. So I'm submitting and suggesting that we need heavenly ideas to be given to us, and not just ideas that we conjure up by our own selves.
Man, so good. I guess I love that, being teachable, being coachable, being able to be corrected, and being humble, man. Those are some tough lessons for men to navigate, man. How do we help men navigate this space to be teachable, coachable, corrected, and humble?
Man, that is the $1 million question right there, right there. Because with us, I feel like two things block us from really being coachable, being corrected, and being teachable. And I feel like that's pride, and I feel like that's also ego, ego as well. And so one of the main ways I think that can help us out is to have some good examples within our lives. There is a principle out there from the Bible that says, essentially, you become what you behold. And so for a lot of us, man, you have young men, especially men of color, who are the role models, I guess, what's presented to us, whether it be within the hip hop space, the rap space, pop cultural space. The examples may not be the best examples of what it looks like to be teachable, to be corrected, to be humble, right? That they may be very toxic examples. But I feel like in order for us to be able to live and to be able to be corrected, to be teachable, to be coached, we need more examples around us. We need more examples. We need better role models, basically. And for me, the best role model that I know of is the man Yeshua, or the Christ that walked the earth, because I see him being humble. I see him being teachable, but I also see men that are in my life who follow his example, that are also teachable. They're also humble, and they also show that it's not necessarily because I think some people think that, that it's a weakness to be like, if somebody comes to you and they want to teach you or coach you or guide you a certain way. But I feel like if you're smart, you will realize that the person that wants you to be better, that wants you to live better, that wants you to have better ideas, and wants you to reach your full purpose, he's actually doing it. He's actually coming into your life not to blow out, not to snuff out your talents, but to actually optimize them so you can live your best life. And so I feel like if we get that lesson, man, for us men, that's going to help us tremendously moving forward when we talk about living our lives.
That's really rich there, because I think sometimes we do need to hear that that Jesus was the ultimate role model. I sat
Yes.
with I sat with a group of guys, and we were talking masculinity, right? And of course, we can go over
Right.
the different variations of masculinity and what masculinity looks like. But they were talking about masculinity from a biblical perspective. How
That's
did
right.
God make men, and how does what does God expect from us as men to exhibit biblical masculinity? And just from that identity, Jesus was the ultimate role model for biblical masculinity. So just to your
That's right.
point, man, I think you hit that nail dead on the head. Really good, real good. Real good. So listen, man, I know you got some things on your heart. I know there's some things that you definitely want to reach in and help impact the lives of men. Talk to me. Talk to the hearts of men. What's that thing that you want men to walk away today with, my friend?
Man, this is a phenomenal question too. So, and I want to thank you for this question. What I want the men to walk away with, the brothers to walk away with from this conversation is essentially it's going to be one main thing that kind of branched off into three principles. And the main thing that I want us men to understand and take away is that we need to change our mindset every single day because the kingdom of heaven has arrived. We all need heaven, right? And so when people think about heaven, I think that they may think about, like floating babies and babies on a cloud and they playing a harp and we got this fanciful Disney, like, I guess, imagination of what heaven is. But I would submit that heaven is way more actionable and way more practical than we may think it is.
Mm,
And to give three examples of this, what I want the men to take away from this is three principles: the principles of a king, the principle of commonwealth, and the principle of worship, right? And so this how it all connects to heaven. It all connects to us living a more optimized and a more fulfilled life. So a king essentially is a person he is a supreme ruler. And I feel like when it comes to us men, we want to be that. We want to be the people who, when we step into a room, we step into an atmosphere, we want to be able to have that rulership. We want to be able to have that authority, right? And so that's a very good thing, because that means that you are you are really acting like your heavenly father, because he has full dominion, full authority in his kingly domain called heaven. And so the one thing that I love about a king as well is that a king, he is also an owner. He's automatically an owner. Us men, I feel like for us, it benefits us to own our talents, to own our giftings, even to own up to our mistakes, own up to our missteps as well, because that's only going to make us better moving forward. Because if we don't take that responsibility or that accountability, then we're going to forfeit more opportunities to learn and to grow and to have a changed mindset, a better mindset, right? And so this leads into the second principle of for men, in order for you to live like like a king, because you're a king in your own right. Kings are the automatically owners. And so the second principle is I want men to grasp a principle of commonwealth. Commonwealth means that within this context of a kingdom is that wealth is common to everybody, to all the citizens. So this means that I don't have to be jealous if Dwayne's podcast goes viral tomorrow. If Dwayne gets a billion subscribers tomorrow, or I don't have to hate on Dwayne because, he's driving a fancy car. His home is bigger than mine. He has more money in his bank account, because within the kingdom, the wealth is common. Dwayne we both have equal access to the king's wealth. So the king of heaven, he is the richest king that we're ever going to know. And so just because if we see our brother prospering, if I see Dwayne prospering, I shouldn't be, grimacing and saying, oh man, like he stole my blessing. No, there is no shortage of blessing within this government called the Kingdom of Heaven. And so, instead of us hating or trying to be condescending to our brothers, we need to celebrate each other's gifts and talents and our accomplishments as well. So this will help us. I think this mindset, this paradigm shift, would help us to really strengthen that brotherhood that we need to make earth look a little bit more like heaven, right? And so the last leading to the very last principle, which is the principle of worship. Us men, I'm gonna give this a sports analogy. The late great Kobe Bryant, you become what you behold. I feel like he watched and studied Michael Jordan so much so that he chewed his gum like him, he tied his shoes like him, he practiced his free throws like him. He did all these things trying to mirror the image of Michael Jordan, to try to mirror the greatest example, going back to examples that he ever seen within the domain of basketball. And so within this analogy of Kobe and Michael Jordan, we know men who can almost worship sports and also almost worship sports figures. We were created to worship. I think we have to understand that if we're not worshiping our creator, we're not worshiping the one who made us, then that is misplacing our worship. But worship doesn't just look like, we're someplace and we're clapping and singing and we're singing songs and we're stomping our feet. Worship, it involves two main things, and I'll land here. Worship within the kingdom, it involves two things. It involves acknowledging that the king owns everything. And it also involves giving to the king whatever he asks of us. And so Dwayne, this is easier said than done, my friend. Like this, it's not an easy thing to do, because within the kingdom, worship becomes natural and normal and necessary, because when we realize that the king owns everything, if he asks me to give up something, to give up my previous plans that I had, and because he has better plans for me, then I should be able to do that. I think sometimes we even make our plans can become a golden calf to us as well. But if I'm able to trade my plans for his plans, then that can lead me to living a better life and more fulfilled life as a man. And that can give me a clear vision as a man as well, for not just for me, but for generations to come. And then the last thing is giving to him what rightly belongs to him, giving him our time, giving him our energy, giving him resources, right? We are only here talking on this podcast today, Dwayne, because the King of Heaven gave us breath to breathe. So you and I can inhale, we can exhale. This laptop that I'm on, the microphone that you have, the headphones, the hat, all those materials, that's all the King's stuff, right? Right? Science, I have nothing against science, but scientists can't innovate air, right? Every single thing that we have, the King has created. Everything that we have, the King has made, right? The earth belongs to him and everything that's in it. And so I feel like if we acknowledge these two things, that the King, he owns everything, King Yahweh owns everything, and that and whatever he asks of us, our time, our energy, our resources, our pride, our ego, our plans, we should freely give them up to them. But if we can't do that, they may become the object of our worship instead of us worshiping the King of Heaven, who can give us the best life and the best ideas to live out as men of true vision.
I love the three principles: the king, the commonwealth, the worship. And I love how you kind of brought it all together, how we can better understand what worship actually could even look like. You said, and I love this. I have to quote this one. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna acknowledge you one time, and after that, I'm gonna be using this one because this was good, bro. Our plans can become like a golden calf to us, because we don't want to let them go. We don't want to let go our plans for God's plans. That is my hands down. That belong to me now, bro. You ain't.
You can have it. You can have it. That's the Commonwealth of heaven right there. You can have it.
I could have it. Well, thank you. But listen, I want to go back. I want to go back to the king, realizing that as a king, we are owners. And again, so many great takeaways. We got to get to this place where we own our talent, we own our gifts, we own our attitudes, we own our mindset. Um, I want you to go a little deeper in that, man. I know you gave us that summarization, but what's the power in owning, and why is it important that we understand that from that king's perspective?
Excellent question, man. You are setting me up for the assist, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So for me, I feel like what it looks like, what the opposite of that looks like, us being living as kings within our own right, and what that looks like in real time. The greatest example of this is the Messiah. That when I look in the Bible, and what I mean by this is this: us men, we are tempted each and every day, and we're tested each and every day. The Messiah was tested as well. When we look at chapters like Matthew 4 and Luke 4, the Messiah came on the scene and he was born into kingship. And so what's special about that, and I'm prayerfully the men, this resonates with you, is that the devil, the adversary, was trying to get the Messiah to prove his worth to him. And he was also he was questioning his identity as well. Oh, well, if you're really the son of the King of Heaven, if you're really the son of the King of Heaven, then you should be able to do this, that, and the third. But what was essential, and see, we can have friends or people in our ear and say, well, okay, Yoel and Dwayne, if you guys are really, talented, if you're really gifted, then you should have so many and so followers. You should have so many and so, like, you should be able to meet all these vanity metrics for your podcast to be really special. But here's the key. The Messiah come on the scene, and he was born as a king. And he was so secure within his kingship and within his identity of being the son of his father, that when the devil came to him and he stepped to him 3 times, he said, I want you to turn these stones into bread. And he didn't do it. I want you to throw yourself off of this, build a temple within Jerusalem. He didn't do it. I want you to bow down and worship me, so I'll give you all these kingdoms of the world, but he didn't do that. And I feel like with us men, I feel like sometimes we don't pass those tests like how we should, because we're not secure within our identity, and we're not secure within us wearing our crowns well.
Well, man, this is good. To your point, kingship is about knowing who you are, whom's you are, and you come into kingdom living because of God's grace in your life, because of your acceptance of God's grace in your life. And I'm talking about Yeshua, and so knowing who you are is a powerful and whom you are is a powerful ownership. That's a powerful ownership towards connecting to purpose, connecting to the gift, the talent. I think so many men are at this place. We're lost. To your point, we're comparing ourselves. And, I don't have 100,000 subscribers. And we on our way. If you will subscribe, share, and tell a friend, you know what I mean?
That's right.
About the podcast.
That's right.
We too busy comparing ourselves to other people versus tapping into what it looks like to operate from a place of ownership, kingship in life. I love that. So good. Real good. Commonwealth. You said Commonwealth equals access. It's equal access, to the king's assets. In essence, we don't have to, like you said, you can have it. We don't have to compete with one another.
That's right.
And we have to get to this place where we just understand that there's a commonality of being in sonship, or there's a commonality in being in adoption of God's grace, and under the headship of who Christ is in your life. Talk to me about equal access. How can we help men better understand that, bruh, we can stop the the competition and let's learn to collaborate, connect, and grow together.
Oh man, excellent question, man. What immediately comes to my mind is, and so I would like to just paint a picture for us. And so this isn't a new picture, right? This is straight from the Bible. Actually, it's from Luke 5. And so Commonwealth, I feel like is the best economic situation that we can be in. And kingdoms have this dynamic called Commonwealth. And so here's a perfect example. In Luke chapter 5, you have the Messiah, but you have these fishermen. And to summarize it, they've had a bad work day, man. Like they've been fishing all night, and Peter hasn't, like he ain't catch nothing, bro. Like the fish have outsmarted him, right? And so here comes the Messiah. And the Messiah, he's so cool, calm, and collected. He's like, hey, so he's teaching and he's preaching, right? He's living in his purpose. And when he's done doing this, and this is what I mean by the practicality and the pragmatism of heaven as well. He's looking at these fishermen. He says, okay, put your net out. And he's telling him to fish, and everything seemingly when it seems backwards. Fishermen, they only fish at nighttime because it optimizes your opportunity to catch fish and the seller at the marketplace. But everything seems backwards. It's total sunlight. He's telling them to throw your nets out during this time of day, so it seems backwards. But this is what I mean by, if we can just submit and we can be coachable, we can be corrected, and we can be teachable, then this gonna bless us in our lifestyle. Peter knew how to fish. Dwayne knows how to podcast, right? I know how to write. But when you have a heavenly idea, a heavenly messenger come to you and can give you a new idea, this is what happens. The Messiah tells him to do this. Peter, he obeys, and his net is full to the point where he can't even pull up the net of fish by himself. He has to call his homies. He has to call his brothers. He has to call the other men. James, son of Zebedee, John, son of Zebedee, to come help him with this. So now check this out, man. You have the Messiah. You have Peter. You have his brother Andrew. They couldn't get this net full of fish up by themselves. They had to call their other brothers. And notice, John and James weren't hating. Like, they didn't go on Facebook and say, man, look at this, man. He's showing off today. He's showing out. No, they went to go help him because they knew that there was more than enough for not just these 4 fishermen, but enough to be able to feed their family, their friends, their mom, their dad, whoever was in need, by going to the marketplace and taking this heavenly catch of the day to their villages. And why this is important? This is important for us men to get, because from this example, we see that this only happened by them submitting to heaven in the form of the Messiah, Yeshua, in order for them to be blessed, not just for themselves, but for their family, for their brothers, and possibly for anybody else who was in need within their community. That's why heaven is important.
That's real good. I think, and the way you illustrated that really helps, I believe, help men see that, you know what, I ain't got to do this by myself. I don't have to have all the answers. If I would just be coachable, if I can just be teachable, humble myself, and connect with some people, man, you could go such a long way. All right, Yoel, here's my last. I want to hit that worship. You said, you become what you behold. And you illustrated a phenomenal illustration when you talked about Kobe and how he admired Michael Jordan. Help men here. And let me slow down on this one. Hold on. Because in my head, there's a powerful word here, and it's behold. You know, this is not this. You didn't say mentor. You didn't, you didn't say coach or somebody you admire. You said someone you behold. And this, to me, in my head, what comes to me, how do guys find that man that's on the mantle? Who's that guy on the mantle that you look at and exemplifies who you desire to be? I want to help men unpack that some.
Wow. Excellent question. Excellent question. Who is that guy? I feel like in order for us men to find that guy who is that person who's on that mantle, that person who is the one who can really benefit and optimize and connect us and help us to unearth those gifts, those talents, that purpose, that vision that's buried within us. We we have to make a phone call, and we have to call on our Heavenly Father. And the reason why I say this, Dwayne, is because He can see people, their actions, their purpose, and their motives and their intentions, even when we can't. And so what I mean by that is when we end this podcast and when the conversation is over, I don't know what Dwayne is doing, right? And Dwayne, he doesn't know what I'm doing because we can't see each other. But there's somebody who is the King of Heaven, ruling in heaven, who can see that person that, I need to connect Yoel with Dwayne, or, I need to connect Dwayne with it. This man, he's falling in this area. So if I can just connect them with the men who are in Dwayne's group that he has on his podcast, then that's going to help him to behold an example that he can see, that's going to encourage him, that's going to lift him up, that's going to galvanize him to say, man, these men, now granted, nobody is perfect, but these men have taken the time, effort, and energy to not worship their gifts, their talents, their time, their resources, but they've taken time to acknowledge that, hey, even though I'm an excellent interviewer, I'm an excellent podcaster, I'm an excellent writer, my giftings and my talents, I didn't give them to myself. They came from my Heavenly Father. So I feel like we gotta make this a proverbial phone call, so to say, to our Heavenly Father and say, hey, can you ask Him to connect us with men that we can behold, that we can look at, that's going to imbue and inspire within us, within our soul, to say, that's who I need to connect with. That's who I need to talk to. That's who I need to glean wisdom to. That's who I need to be corrected by, coached by, taught by. That's who I need to be in fellowship with and in tandem with. And so I can get this vision out of me. So I can get these gifts out of me. So I can use these talents within me to make the world around me look a little bit, and make the men around me look a little bit more like heaven. And so we can all see the vision of heaven take over, not just our friend group and our atmosphere, but we can see it take over the entire world that we live in.
Take it to God. We're gonna have to make a phone call. I think so often, and to your point, I think so often we just see people and we think that they have what we want because they got some of the things that we don't have, but we haven't really given it perspective, so to speak. I often say this. Identify with people, one, who going in the direction you want to be going, doing what you want to be doing.
That's right.
But more importantly, who have the values. And let me be very clear. They ain't talking about values, but they modeling those values for you. Let me say it another way. They living those values, and see how you can grow and connect. But to your point, start with prayer first, though, because there's a lot of guys out there that look good but ain't good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, doing.
We sang in the song. We fly is is all outdoors.
That's
But
right.
we still, like you said, at the end of the day, I don't know what direction you go in when you get off of here. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
we got to
right.
find men who kind of move like we move, who want to be doing the things that we do, you know,
Yes.
and live how we live. You know, I think that's
Yes.
a impactful statement there. And you talked about this too earlier. You said we have to give up. And what came to mind for me is surrender. We're
Mm.
gonna have sometimes you're gonna have to lay your ambitions, lay your drive to the side, particularly if it's not in alignment with what God is leading or taking you.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Absolutely right.
talk to me to the fellas about that. Being able to give up and and I said surrender. That was my word. That's what came to me.
Yes, yeah, yes, sir. Man, you are, yeah, like that is spot on, Dwayne, because we have an example of this guy named Shaul or Paul within the Bible. He had his plans and he had his goals and his ambitions laid out. He was this ultra religious figure who was a Pharisee. And so his synagogue attendance was 100%. He he went to this seminary school at the feet of Gamaliel. So he graduated magna cum laude. So he was an A plus 4.0 student. But what happened? So it seems like things right. It seems like things are going well for this guy, right? He seems like he has everything in order. But what's interesting, and I love that you brought up, like, you know, the optics of not just articulating the values, but also living them, modeling them out, these values as well. When this person named Paul or Shaul got to a place in his life where he was persecuting the very brothers that he needed to be connected with, that's what can happen as well. When we don't understand and we don't know, and we're off of our purpose, we can begin to attack brothers. We can begin to engage within this friendly fire against brothers who are actually not trying to hurt us. They're trying to help us out. Paul or Shaul, when he got to a point in his life where he encountered heaven, basically. He encountered heaven within the personhood of the Messiah. And this changed the trajectory of his life for the better. He had to let go of his plans of, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to terrorize believers. I'm going to terrorize citizens of heaven. His goal was to wipe them out, right? He was the Taliban and ISIS all wrapped up in one guy during this time. But his plan was toxic. And guess what, Dwayne? When he encountered heaven in the personhood of the Messiah, Yeshua, the Messiah, he said this word that really resonates with me. He said, Paul, why are you persecuting me? It's not beneficial for you to kick against the pricks. He was basically letting him know that these plans that you have innovated and ideated for yourself, they may seem good to you, but they're causing you to cause yourself so much self-inflicting pain. And I feel like for a lot of us men, I feel like that's what's happening with us as well. We have these plans and they look good on the outside. The optics look good, but on the inside, when we go home and we close that door and we by ourselves, we know that internally and that intrinsically something is off. And we have to self-medicate somehow, some way. And most of the time, that self-medication is toxic. And so what I want to submit is that our plans, they cannot be worshiped, man, because if we're worshiping our plans and we're not worshiping the planner, our Heavenly Father, then that is going to cause us to be just like Shaul, just like Paul. It's going to cause us to persecute people who are trying to help us. It's going to cause us to burn bridges that shouldn't be burned. It's going to cause us to be this domestic terrorist in our own lives. But not only are we terrorizing other people, that terrorism is going to cause us, it's going to come toward us as well, because we're going to see that our plans actually can sometimes stunt our growth and our vision, and it can cause that vision to be blurry when our Heavenly Father wants our vision to be crystal clear for Him and for generations to come.
Man, that I like that. Sometimes we can get to this place where we worship the creation versus worshiping the Creator, and this place of having a vision, a plan, and executing. That's what Men of Vision is all about. But you get that clarity because you connect to actually you connect to the source. I've
Yes.
never, just for me, for myself, man, I remember just sitting on my back porch trying to figure life out. No direction, lost, crying, snotting up all over the place, and felt worthless. I didn't feel like I was the
Mm,
man I could be for my family.
mm,
And I
right.
knew I wanted more, and it was in that moment for me that I realized that there was more for me, but I
Mm,
had to have a change in mindset. I had to start viewing my world a little different, developing myself, not just in personal growth and leadership, but in
that's
spiritually.
right.
Getting
That's right.
getting hold of what I like to tell men often is get hold of what God has to say about you to
Mm,
you. You know,
wow. That's
read
good.
that word. Take time and pray, seek God's face, and do the necessary work on you to get better.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I couldn't have said it better, man. Yes, you're absolutely right. Like all the above what you just said, those are key ingredients to us being true men of vision, being kingdom men of vision, to be able to, man, like live out the heavenly ideas that the King, that our Father, He's trying to get to us, man.
So good, Yoel, man. Listen, I love this. This was great. I love your perspective. Um, and I'm so grateful to have you on the Men of Vision podcast. And I'm pretty sure, man, the men have been filled. Listen, tell me more. Talk to us about the book, Thoughts of a Kingdom Citizen. What can we learn more about the book?
Yeah, brother Dwayne. So the book Thoughts. So this is my authorial debut, Thoughts of a Kingdom Citizen. Earth Needs Heaven. And so in this book, man, when you all read this, you are going to realize that we all have lost something, right? And so within this book, I basically it's basically me chronicling my journey from leaving religion and leaving circles of religiosity, and me actually entering into the kingdom of heaven for my own self, right? And so what I want to impart to the audience and those listening is, when you read this book is about how I, through my journey, and using my example of going from religion to the kingdom of heaven, religion to heaven, I feel like it's going to resonate with the men out there, that there is life beyond religion, and also there's life beyond our presuppositions, beyond our assumptions, beyond our mistakes, beyond our missteps as well. And we are all really chasing happy. We're all looking for the same intangibles, man. We're all looking for happiness. We're all looking for joy. We're looking for that inner peace. We're all looking for that security, right? So we're all looking for these intangibles. And what I submit in this book is that the only government that can provide this for us and more is the kingdom of heaven government. And so in this book, it's like a memoir of me chronicling my journey from leaving the Jehovah's Witness space, leaving religion altogether, and seeing that, hey, the Messiah brought something that's way grander and way more grandiose than religion, and that's this thing called heaven, man. And so, it's a beautiful invitation for men to enter into heaven, and to really see that this government called heaven is really going to help you to live the life that you were created to live to the fullest.
I'm so excited. I honestly wish I had a copy of the book that I had already read it before we was able to do this, connect
No.
here on the podcast. But no doubt, I want to encourage the men. Listen, head over to Amazon. I just looked it up. Throw the title in there. Thoughts of a Kingdom Citizen. Earth Needs
Yes.
Heaven. Go check out the book by Yoel Ben Yisrael today. Go pick up your copy, man. We might have to bring that book to the book club one day. Listen,
Oh man,
man,
that'd be awesome.
tell the people where they can learn more about what you do, maybe follow you on your social media platforms, how they can get in touch with you, and where they might be able to purchase the book from.
Yes, sir. So if you all would like to connect with me, man, and learn more, um, you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Yoel Ben Yisrael. That's Yoel Ben Yisrael. So you can check me out on there. I'm also on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Hebrew. It's Leb underscore Tahor. That's LEB underscore TAHOR, and that means that's Hebrew for clean heart. If you want to also, I guess, hear from me more, you can check out the podcast, the Kingdom Basura podcast. It's on Audible. It's on Spotify for podcasters as well. And you can buy the book. The book is on Audible. The book is on Amazon.com. It's also on a website that my wife and I manage. It's called Set Apart kingdomprep.com. That's Set Apart kingdomprep.com. And what I want to do, Dwayne, is I want to gift you, man, with the audio version of the book as well. So you ain't got to pay nothing. I'm to take care to gift you the audio version regarding the book, man. So you don't even worry about it, man. You got it.
Hey, man. Well, thank you for your generous offer and showing some gratitude and love to the Men of Vision podcast and your boy in general. I'm so grateful. Listen, fellas, go check out what Yoel is doing, man. Go pick up your copy of the book today. Thoughts of a Kingdom Citizen. Earth Needs Heaven. Also, go follow him on his Instagram handles, Facebook, and the website. Oh, check out the podcast. Basura podcast. That's right. You can find it on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts. Listen, I want to say thank you for taking time and rocking with us today. I'm your boy, Dwayne Roberts, and this is the Men of Vision podcast. As you always hear me say, realize this, that you have everything you need to take your life to the next level. That's simply because your success is in your hands. Fellas, have a phenomenal day with purpose, and God bless.